You're listening to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires, where we talk retirement, building wealth, and outrageous generosity. Kevin is in California. Hi, Kevin. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks, Dave. Great to be here.
Good. How can I help?
So I'm on baby step 7, and our next financial goal is to invest in real estate. It's going to be quite some time before we can afford to buy something in cash, but I'm wanting to educate myself on the process in advance. And several times I've heard you say that you should never buy rental property at retail value. You should always get it at a discount. And if there isn't going to be a housing crash, which I was expecting, but you've given valid arguments as to why that's not going to happen, then how do you go about finding these deals when the competition in the area is so steep and so much of the competition knows more about real estate than I do because they're experts and I'm not?
It's hard, but they're there. There's not many deals out there today, but as the economy continues to slow and we don't have 27 buyers lined up every time someone puts up a for sale sign, then you're going to see more and more deals happen. The other thing that's going to happen is there's been virtually no foreclosures for the last 2 years because of COVID moratoriums. And so there's a backlog of foreclosures getting ready to hit the market. And there may be some deals in that pile. There may be some stuff that pops up in that pile. I don't know for sure, but there may be. But, you know, the first deal is the hardest. It's like the first team member I ever hired here was much harder than the 1,000th team member that we hired here. It was much weightier. It was a decision I wasn't used to making. The process and the steps, it was very, very hard. So, but, you know, we're always, you know, old buddy of mine 30, 40 years ago that was a house buyer used to say, we're driving for dogs. And he would drive around looking for a house that was a dog. That means the weeds are grown up, the gutter's hanging off, the bushes are overgrown on the house. It looks like an estate plan that's gone, an estate deal that's gone sideways. It looks like a foreclosure that's happened. It looks like somebody, you know, there's something distressed about the property. And so I smell a bargain, you know, when I see that kind of stuff. If everything's in perfect condition, there's not a blade of grass out of place, and an OCD member of the community is out there picking every little weed out from around their bushes, that's not going to be a deal usually. You know, and so you're driving for dogs, you're looking for that, you're going to make contacts with estate attorneys, you're going to make contacts with foreclosure attorneys, you're going to make contacts with marriage counselors, whoever you can find in the area that might know where there's a property that needs to be sold. Well, divorces cause this.
I know.
And you're a blessing if you come in and buy a house and it helps people that are going through a divorce.
Yeah. But not at a deal. I mean,
well, at a deal. It can be at a deal. I mean, it's rather than them get, you know, messed up. You know, and so get into foreclosure or something. So sometimes, you know, you just clean somebody's in a situation where they just want the thing turned quick.
Yep.
And that's where you see these little signs up, we buy houses and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So they're all offering 70, 65, 75 cents on the dollar.
And is that the formula you use?
I used 70 cents in the old days minus repairs when I was buying houses and fixing them and flipping them or fixing them and holding them. Commercial real estate, I'm a little different on. It's a little harder to do that because there's more variables involved. And we mainly buy commercial real estate today. I've got a bunch of houses, but they're kind of left over from the old days. But, it's just take your time, learn, and buy the deal. And if you can't buy the deal, that means you're just not ready to buy. You haven't found it yet. You haven't looked hard enough. And when I was doing these deals 1,000 years ago, Kevin, I was buying foreclosures for a living. I would go through 200 deals to buy one. It is not, I mean, even when I was looking at foreclosures, not all of them are a deal. Some people had more owed on the house than it was worth, and that's why I was getting foreclosed on. Why would I want to pay that for it? And so, you know, I'm scratching and clawing through a whole pile of stuff looking for a needle in a haystack. And that's what you're doing. Take your time, take your time, take your time. Because, dude, if you buy a $400,000 house for $250,000, you know, you've made money coming out of the gate.
Which is your strategy for investment.
Make money at the buy.
Mm-hmm.
Make money at the buy. There's very few pieces of property I've ever paid retail for. Very, very few. And I've come out on all of those as well because they do go up in value too. But it's better to start out ahead of the game from day one. Thanks for tuning into Ramsey Everyday Millionaires. To check out all our podcasts, just search Ramsey Network on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.